So let's go ahead and get started here with what we're going to be talking about, or at least going to make an attempt. So as we mentioned a couple of times over the last few weeks, the artist training ground is set to be starting in a couple of days. Now, what my hope was to do is I realized it's been a number of months, years. Yeah, see, time just flies, doesn't it? It's been a long time since we last really talked about getting ready for artist training ground and finding resources. And as much as the artist training ground does have their general link that they throw out in regards to into creating art, and I'm sure once again, as they always will, they're going to have their guide to the how to draw guide that they always publish out. Let's see. Da, 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 da. I'm trying to find it right now, in fact. But that's kind of where I want to bring everybody in here. So what I want to do at this point is I want to get a cobble together as you know, tutorials, guides, resources, suggestions, or maybe even just confident sayings for just to basically make the Brony Show guide to arting and arting accessories, essentially. In other words, we're basically just going to do our best to help you out as best we can while not actually doing anything meaningful ourselves to contribute because and time and energy. So what I have done in regards to that is I have made a Google Doc right here. The TBS, or the Brony Show 2023 Guide to Arting and Arting Accessories, that is in our show notes for 535. And I have opened it up for editing. That means anyone and everyone can go in there and start plopping things in, including first steps, tutorial guides, maybe communities and groups that you can join in and be a part of for support, suggestions, ideas, and help. And I want to see what we can do to contribute to it. Now, the big question I have is, do we really have time for something like this for today?
Well, my basic thing is, if you are looking to draw, look for bases. Because with over the 13 years this fandom has been going, you can easily find bases and work from that. Because if I look at this right, an oldie but a goodie MLP bases on DA, which should be safe. But in backstage, yeah.
Well,
so you can just
that's why I made a literal Google Doc that's editable by everybody.
And did you link it to us?
It's in the show notes.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to go ahead and share it out to our wonderful community out here as well. Everybody here that's here live.
I'm dead.
You know what I mean.
Some of us are dead inside.
Yeah.
I died one too many times.
Though I do gotta admit, the bases are pretty good. Though I think the bases work more for vectoring in general. However, it could also be useful if you want to get an idea of shape and position.
You know what was like one of my earliest understandings of like shape and position of drawing horses?
What's that?
You remember like way back in like 2012 when Lauren Faust was posting like concept sketches of ponies to her DeviantArt?
Yep.
Yeah, it was basically just those concept sketches where I was like, oh wow, oh okay, so that's how circles work. All right.
But again, some stuff, like if you go into the gallery of MLP bases, they also have like pony pods, like horns, wings. And so there's a breakdown of stuff. They even have them in outfits and how this is how it moves, it's the position.
No, I get what he means because I mean I just looked up the concept art that Lauren Faust had for the characters here. You
Yeah,
really
you
could.
can kind of see like you can get a pretty good grasp on one, just kind of like the general shapes that go into what is behind the horse shape, I guess, if that makes any sense. But also you can see the various squash and stretch techniques and stuff exemplified here. It's just like it does a good job at showing what you can play with, and it's just good to get a general understanding of how to make horse be.
You know
And
what?
that's only one example too. There's several. If you look around, people will post like uh their method to drawing. Like if you've ever like either a watched a draw stream, there's a lot of people who do draw streams, and you can just watch somebody go through their process, and everybody has their own different process too. There's not really a right way of doing this kind of stuff. uh and also another good thing, a lot of people post time lapses. So if you don't have enough time to watch an entire art stream, but you have like 10 minutes to watch a time lapse of somebody doing a drawing, there you go. And you can also, in the time lapses, if they're a digital artist, you can see the different ways that they alter things over time from the original sketch to the finished drawing. Because I like not everybody gets the shapes that they want first try, and it's a good way to just kind of remind yourself, hey, it doesn't look great right now. It doesn't mean that it won't always not look great. You can make adjustments as you go.
And then you stop and look at someone trying to draw an eye, and then like, come on, come on, come on.
I mean, it's just it's one of those things. There's a lot to it, and there isn't really a right way about it. And there's lots and lots of resources out there that you can find if you look around. If there's a series of artists that you like to follow, if keep an eye out if they have a YouTube channel or something where they post their uh uh what's it called? Brain.
VODs or content.
Uh time lapses.
Time
Yes.
lapses, maybe VODs of their stream, or even if they do constant streams.
Well, also something to do because not everyone can easily do like expressions. Just look for those because there are people out there that will just take actual like as blank as they could expressions, and you can then try and translate it.
Also, as far as advice that I have to anybody out there when it comes to drawing, use references of the thing that you're trying to do. But by that, I don't mean just directly copy from. What I tend to try and do, if I'm trying to draw, like, say, a machine or something in the background, something more complex, find the thing you want to draw, find three different angles of the thing you want to draw to get a good idea of its general dimensions, and then try to draw your own angle off of that. Is it challenging? Yes, but you'd be surprised how much you can learn from doing that. It's something I need to do more, honestly.
And in all honesty, if you have been into a drafting background for like either woodworking or any type of work like that, it's pretty good if you're able to line it up just right.
That said, when it comes to drawing ponies and machines are not the same thing. Ponies are a lot more flexible in a lot of ways. And I think a key thing that a lot of people should know too is like you don't necessarily have to be 100% on the mark when it comes to anatomy if you're drawing ponies. If you want to do a little bit of squash and stretch, ponies are great for that. Don't be afraid to stretch things to make it kind of make more sense for the mood. Don't feel so limited to make sure that everything is proportionally correct. If you look at screen caps from the show, you'll notice that, like, proportions change all the time just to make it make a little bit more sense. It's stuff that you don't really think about. It's just like, oh, yeah, no, Spike's arm is stretched like a bajillion times longer than normal. Seems normal. It's like, you can get away with that kind of stuff with drawing ponies, and it's fine. They're cartoon characters, and that's one of the nice things about drawing cartoons. You can if you want to, make it super anatomically correct and stuff, and just try and make it as accurate to as a horse would be as possible. Sure, you can, but you don't have to. Like, there's no right way to it. Just play around, have fun, try and see what you can do.
Though
Uh,
I do like let's see here. Crazy Man Captain, circles work like squares. They can. I have seen plenty of artists that instead of using circles, they will actually use a square structure to make their characters, especially if they want them to be more angular.
that
So
works.
shapes, it's just shapes in general. It doesn't have to be circle. You could do squares, you could do rectangles, you could do ovals, you could do eggs.
I
And
still remember the SpongeBob episode trying to. First, I erase the egg, and 1, 2, 3, a perfect circle.
Yeah.
and
And three,
basically,
let's see. Vaguely creepy. First draw 3 circles and draw the rest of the damn horse. Technically, you're right. You do got to start well off with the basic parts. If 3 circles is usually a structure, everybody tends to, well, early, not everybody, but a lot of early artists tend to follow in regards to pony. Draw the head, draw the bean body, and then just kind of work from there.
I've
Well,
seen people do all kinds of things. Some people don't even bother with the bases and stuff, and it works for their style.
Yep.
So
well, and
No,
to
granted,
build
they
off
may have
that,
they may have had a lot of practice before doing that. So go with what flows best for you.
and,
and,
to
and
build
keep
off
in
of
mind
that,
too that there are professional artists out there who use the bases. There's nothing wrong with using them or not, in terms of like circles and stuff. Everything is shapes. That's kind of the key thing to drawing. Everything is shapes. Look at stuff, try and figure out what the shapes are, and do your best,
Also, you don't have to be on model for this. This is about doing it in your style. If you want to do show style, that's cool, but do it as you see fit.
Yeah, honestly, just have fun.
Yeah.
I think that's the best advice that anyone could give an artist, is just have fun with it and try new things.
Oh yeah.
You're not every drawing is going to be a winner, a knockout of the park. Take note of any time that I've done draw streams. Very rarely do I post everything that I draw, because not all of it is like up to my standards or whatever. And
Well,
not everything. Hang on, Toa. Don't interrupt me here.
Let him finish.
Not not every drawing is gonna be a banger, and that's fine. But you learn something from every drawing you do. And like, if you draw something and you're not entirely pleased with it the first time, you can always redraw it again. Use what you learned from the first one. I can say that, like, from trying to draw the same pose like 3 different times, I learned something from doing it, and like by the time I got to the third one, it was looking better. Uh but yeah, ultimately just kind of have fun with it. Draw stuff you like to. Honestly. It's like, if you're drawing something that you really enjoy, like, in my case, shocker, I love trains. So I sometimes draw trains. And you learn stuff from drawing the things that you like and the things that you know. So have fun doing that.
Well, also, as I was pointing out last week, you probably didn't see it because of how sick it was, but every time someone would check upon me, I would be drawing something else until I finally got to the final image on that draw pile. And I went, I erased so much and I had to restart so many times.
All right.
So
Okay.
It's not a one and done.
All right. Okay.
Enough.
A thing I will also say when it comes to any art advice from me, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know what I'm doing. I am by no means a professional. I just draw things for fun, because it's always good to have a hobby.
None of us are professionals on this. This is why it's the 2023 Guide to Arting and Arting Accessories, and so far we only have 3 things that we put in there, and it's not in any kind of structure whatsoever.
I really want to get that book, that Little Pony drawing book.
How much money do you have?
I have enough for it, but at the same time,
Okay, I'm gonna
saving.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you in on something I just bought on an auction here.
Oh,
And it looks like they have more than just one.
Oh.
Hold on, bringing it up. If it'll load.
Load, damn you! God dang it, Google! Don't fail us, all overlord! I was having this issue earlier with TikTok and videos about someone doing the abridged version of Bionicle, and I'm like, oh, I bet I love that.
Well, that's your first failure. You went on TikTok. Alright, so yeah, apparently somebody... Wow, that did not go well. Let's try that one more time here. Oh, for crying out, eBay.
But you... Okay, that lot of 3 right there, huh?
If it'll work. Anyway, yeah, I'll try to bring that up here in a moment. Oh, no, wait, there it goes. Alright, so yeah, apparently somebody is selling like 3 different... The fashion book, the drawing book, and a general coloring book. All for $15 with free shipping.
you see, if I hadn't burned through so much money last month with booking all sorts of stuff for the trip coming up, as well as a bunch of eBay auctions that went a lot higher than I wanted them to,
Oh.
I would totally be all for it.
So how's
But-
the trade employee?
Yeah.
Okay, listen. There were a bunch of photo negatives for this one railway I've been obsessing about all year, and for some reason, all of a sudden, other people are interested in bidding on this railroad's photos as well. I'm like, God damn it.
I
Rah.
get it.
Yeah.
The easy ones.
But yeah, Chaos Sakai does have the right idea. Other resources can include drawing books, especially if you want to draw particular animals or creatures. You can find plenty of books on drawing horses. There are some that are specialized in ponies. There's also some that are just plain like coloring books or basically art or books about the art that is put into My Little Pony, which can still be a great reference, as you can see what some people use for shading, how they draw certain poses and positions and give it a life and form to it. Or if you really want to go old school, you even got an old school retro coloring book you can use for a sketching idea. But yeah, no, art books are a great way to go and at least getting an idea of how things can work and
Ooh.
be applied.
Okay, that one thing I can definitely say. You see that My Little Pony Art is Magic book, the comic one? Yo, that's a really good book, and it also has a lot of like that book. If you have it in your collection, use it. If you don't have it in your collection, definitely think about getting it, because like it's great if you love the comics and the comic covers of the My Little Pony comics. It's great to just kind of go through. There are interviews with artists from the comics and their process and whatnot. And also, it's got like certain covers, the various stages to get them to the finished product and stuff. From the first initial sketches to the cleanups, and and it's such a good reference. And even if you're not planning on like drawing yourself, if you're just fascinated by process, they're great books. God damn, I love them. I have a copy that I've looked through quite a few times, and now that it's been popped in front of my face again, I kind of want to page through it once more.
Don't forget the
It's
second
great.
book they also have.
Oh, another thing I will also say, if anybody out there is just starting out drawing, a quick thing to note. When it comes to drawing, you don't need anything fancy to start. All you need is pencil and paper. That's it. That's all you need to get started. That's how I got started. That's how many artists get started. It's also the cheapest way too. You'd be surprised at what you can do with paper and pencil. It's still my preferred method of drawing. It's honestly, like, if you can get the general structure of things down on paper, you can get it in any medium, including digital. Don't invest in a fancy tablet expecting it's going to make you an amazing artist, because
No,
it's just a tool.
The tools are only it's a tool. You're only as good as the tools.
And friendly reminder to anyone and everyone, I still use MS Paint and my stuff can come out looking beautiful.
Exactly. It's not the tools; it's the artist behind the tool.
Also, one thing to keep in mind: if you do decide to invest in art programs or little hardware, you don't have to break the bank either. You don't need to go after the Adobe program that is $100 a month. You don't
Ship
need to
is
get
free and it works fine.
you don't need to get the $600 drawing tablet that has a crystal clear display that looks like a third monitor. You can do you can do the stamp tablet that costs you $40. I did it for a long time before I started upgrading myself to an actual drawing pad. I did paper and pencil before that too. I never invested in Adobe. Ended up going after free programs like GIMP, Paint.net, Paint Tool Site. Technically, that's payable if you want, but it's also been ripped off it's very easy to get it for free. There's new programs that are out now that you can also use for free or dirt cheap. Krita is free unless you get it off Steam, in which case it's dirt cheap, and they still update it even now. You got Clip Paint Studio, which does now have a monthly subscription if you're getting the newer version, but they also have they have a bunch of different models, so you can either go like a cheap monthly subscription, you can go for a forever price, which that will never gets updated, but you'll still have the software forever regardless. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. What is worth, Adobe does offer an 11-month program that includes Photoshop. But, yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't know the 11th. Yeah, it's still a ripoff, though. Photoshop is just getting fleecy. I wouldn't try it. But that's me. But, yeah, there's a lot of free programs out there. And even more free programs are being popped up. I actually heard about one earlier today that is completely free on GitHub. That's supposed to revolutionize how art programs work. I haven't had a chance to really mess with it, though, so I can't say much. But it's there.
Don't be like me and get Adobe programs. I'm not smart.
Well, Adobe programs were the go-to, but they've long since been outdated, and there are better, cheaper, more useful programs. Well, Adobe does have some good function behind it, but it's honestly not worth the price. Especially since if you become attached to one particular program and they end up increasing the price, you're kind of beholden to it unless you're willing to learn a new one. Communities. There are communities out there that can help you with your art as well as give you advice. Get one that comes immediately to mind. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it here.
Aside from Cole's lovely community, that is a lot of artists that praise your work.
Okay,
Wait,
here. What? Anyway. One Reddit group that I actually joined was the MLP Drawing School, which I would use to see how other people were doing art and also get some ideas on how to do it, as well as put my own pieces up for critique. Later on down the line, I found that they even have a Discord group, which I've joined in, that had a bunch of great reference materials that I use. It's got a great critique board and also just general chatting, so I can talk with other up-and-coming artists and get better ideas of how to do things a little bit better, and also see that other people are starting out exactly the way I am. Sometimes it looks a little bit better than me, curse you, and sometimes it doesn't. Oh, that looks good too. Where's the crap? I'm kidding. Everybody put their effort into it, and that's all that counts. Well, that's what really counts. But yeah, MLP Drawing School. But there's also other art groups that you can join that can help critique your work as well as give you suggestions and good advice. And of course, a lot of them are the same as us. You know, maybe they just had a little more experience with arting, or they could see things you can't see, and offer little suggestions to help out. Oh, vaguely, I know what you're talking about. I downloaded that entire pony drawing reference thing. Yeah, I would also show that right now, but the only problem is that that particular imager group also had some not safe for work stuff because they were really, really good in going into incredible detail, including anatomical details. So yeah.
Once again, draw stuff that you like, and if it's that, sometimes that can help you improve a lot.
Yep.
Just saying.
Go with what you like. No, there's no judgment here. Just don't post it on our boards. We don't have a not safe for work board. They were very thorough with the references. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I figured after I found out about Imager and the thing that they were about to do, I immediately grabbed a copy of it. I'm not crazy enough to lose track of something like that. Anyway, yeah, this wasn't a very good art guide to arting. I wasn't planning on it being great, but I think we got a few things across, and we also pointed out a few things that we didn't last time. I'll try to add on more into the little guide to arting and arting accessories that we have here. But again, it's fully editable, and I'm going to keep it that way for a time. So if anybody wants to include their own suggestions, links, and thoughts, and I will keep an eye on it in case anybody decides to throw something in there they really shouldn't. Please don't. Please remember that this is, you know, we're trying to help people out. But yeah, so the big thing, in fact, the big thing I'm going to be doing for Artist Training Ground this year is I want to try using a paint application to do the drawing this time instead of line arting. So I'm challenging myself by trying to learn how to paint, essentially. Granted, it's digital painting, but it's still something. Yeah, just hit me up vaguely and I'll be more than happy to throw it out to you. As well as anybody else. Especially if it's gone now. I definitely want to make sure I keep it available and distributed. Oh wait, that's right. I think did I. Sorry. While I'm thinking it over, does anybody else have anything really to add to this? I know this is extremely haphazard, and I honestly feel kind of bad that we did very little to really showcase this, didn't we? Anybody have anything to add, or should we just go ahead and move on to videos for the rest of the time?
My head is empty.
You know, I think we're all empty-headed. It's been one of those weeks. I've thrown out what suggestions we can, and I've got myself a new pony drawing book that I'm gonna also be using. I'm happy.
Boogie
on. Let's go ahead and do.
Note, I'm gonna go sleep.
Oh, got a shout out before
Hello,
we.
Renee.
Got a shout out before we let you go.
Shouts out to all the amazing artists in the fandom because there's a lot of amazing artists in this fandom, and I love them. They are great. Keep going.
You heard him. Keep going. Keep being great.
Anyways, have a good bye.
Have a good night. Have a good night, Goldust.
You too.
Alright, so we're going to go into our video segment here. We're just going to have enough time for a few videos, but best to get a few in instead of none at all. And I'm also going to remind myself I should have figured Telltale was going to. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. Starting off with a Ponytown animation, Good Times.
Well, someone's overly German.
Are they gonna start speaking Simlish?
I honestly wonder.
Would not surprise me.
Okay, so we went after the floor to.
I was about to say, let's name the references. I think it's a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Maybe.
What the? Somebody is way too buff there.
I think that is that Core Keeper?
No, Deep Rock Galactic. This is Factory.
Okay.
Just Snuggles.
Looked like she was prepping to snap the neck.
Just one quick tweak and it's all over.
Was that really appropriate to watch? We were watching one pony touch the other pony's ass.
Hmm.
I was actually going to make that joke, but you beat me to it.
All the patrons.
One of them looks like Creature.
I gotta admit, if I could have a patron screen like this, I would so do it.
That's a lot of programming and animating.
I know. By the way, Creature, incoming! Says extraordinary friendship added privilege. Oh, that's
adorable.
Basically, it was a celebration of their friendship, which unfortunately ended really poorly. So that sucks. Anyway, here's Ponies at a store. Ponies in a store.
Oh, those fucking roulette chips from Doritos. It's a scam.
Of course it's a scam.
Like, I was at least hoping some effort. But yeah, the spicy ones, it's like even the ranch ones, you kind of tell they're spicy if you get them, but it's barely there.
Well, you put spicy.
Oh. Pushing buttons. Lyric video.
Save you, got me cornered, know when I crave you. Trust me, baby, I can behave to. Whoa, I've got that touch that keeps you crawling back to me. Eyes that make you see right through me, faking like you thought that you knew me. Whoa, then when I'm here in your embrace, standing in the cold and pouring rain, there's no more to gain. So come on, bring the pain, drive me insane. Just lie and trick me like you've got me in your hold. I should have just behaved like I'm told. Going in circles, feeling like it's deja vu. We both know that this is nothing new. That you mess around for fun. You can also play this game, honey. Listen, you're like a muscle, no run. And I think of all the times you try to betray me, all the times you try to degrade me, then like you don't want to make me. Then can be the one to come save you. Got me cornered, know when I crave you. Trust me, baby, I can behave too. Whoa. Think of all the times you tried to betray me, all the times you tried to degrade me, acting like you're the one who made me. What makes you think that you made me? Yeah. Move your body now as I move into the beat that's going downtown. Whoa, and I want to get away, but when you're pushing buttons, you know that I'll stay. Move your body now as I move into the beat that's going downtown. Whoa, and I want to get away, but when you're pushing buttons, you know that I'll stay. Whoa, and I want to get away, but when you're pushing buttons, you know that I'll stay. Whoa, and I want.
I like that. That was nice. Fortunately with that is going to be it for our show. So it's time to close out the music. We had a great talk about Misty, the soon-to-be-coming main 6 member. Unfortunately, it also ate into our video time and our attempt to talk about art time. But hopefully we still inspired some people to try to do the artist training grad the next few days. And to check out the new MLP episodes that are coming out in the next few days. It is a very busy week. But let's go ahead and get our final shoutouts in for the evening. And starting off with DM2001.
Have a great week. Stay healthy and take care, everyone.
Alright. Then on to... sorry, I was looking at something. Textalion.
Hello.
Tokoi.
Thank you to CMC and Commander for being our mods. Thank you to all our watchers and viewers. We appreciate you very much. And have a good evening.
Alright, and Suki of the Otaku Ascended.
I am going to bed. Fuck you.
Love you too.
Alright, and with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us for another episode of The Brony Show. Please be sure to tune in later this week on Wednesday for Winchester and his Wednesday crew doing Winchester and Wednesday shenanigans, hopefully. And along with that, we have Circuit's Gaming Room on Sunday, where we are working to beat up every single monster in Monster Hunter Rise, where we broke down the barriers and now it's just time to take them out one by one. Along with that, keep an eye out on our Discord for when random streams will pop up, as I am going to try to get streams going again. But I wish I could be a little more committal than hopefully. But I do want to remind everybody that we do have the pre-show that is an hour before the main show. Be sure to jump in an hour early and you can go ahead and check out the pre-show, which is always a lot of fun. And also a reminder to stay afterwards if you're watching us live for the Coffee House After Party, which is only on our Vaughn stream, which means it's the only way to enjoy it live on Vaughn. And with that, let's go ahead and get our shout out to our IRC chatters. Thank you to Chaos Akai, Clyde the Conquest, Cool Dude, Fantastic Fred, Really So, Sonic 5421, Techman, Tech Stallion the Second, Vaguely Creepy, and yay, Archivers. And a big shout out to all of you, to all of our archive watchers on YouTube, to our live stream watchers on YouTube and Twitch. However you catch the Brony Show, however you enjoy our shenanigans and our fun, thank you so much for spending the time out and enjoying our fun, despite how insane we seem to get, and try really, really hard to make things happen, but at the same time, barely put in any effort. It's the greatest combination of trying really hard to do absolutely nothing. But we do like to entertain you as best we can. And what better way to sign off than Far Away by Melody Brony, featuring Black and Blue. We'll go ahead and have that close us out. And I hope you all have a great night. See you next time.
just can't do this without you. 'Cause we've been dreaming of this moment, but it feels so wrong without you. I know you're too far gone. It's all my fault. I'm reaching out as far as I can go. I know it seems dangerous, I can't deny, but when you're by my side, it all comes to light. I can't see what I miss from your eyes. It twinkles to the end, it all signifies. When you're alone, it all comes to mind that you need a change. It's kind of funny that all it takes is one to lead the way. As the clock keeps on ticking, I feel my grip slipping. I just can't do this without you. 'Cause we've been dreaming of this moment, but it feels so wrong without you. I know you're too far gone. It's all my fault. I'm reaching out as far as I can go. I know it seems dangerous, I can't deny, but when you're by my side, it all comes to life. I can't see what I miss from your eyes. It twinkles to the end, it all signifies. I know you're too far gone. It's all my